Modality. What is it? We may have heard that using text and graphics is better than using text alone. When looking at multimedia, the modality principle takes this one step further. It says that on-screen text, when used at the same time as visual graphics, may overwhelm your learner. That is because we have two channels for processing information. When text is presented at the same time as graphics, all information enters the visual processing channel. The modality principle says that words should be in spoken form whenever there is an online graphic, such as an animation, a video, or even a picture. The research is very clear that this is the case, and there's been loads of research that back up this theory. So why does this theory hold true? Everything we learn goes first into working memory. Everything. Unfortunately, working memory is very limited. Once working memory becomes filled, any additional processing cannot happen. But luckily, we have two different channels that can work at the same time. One is the visual pictorial processing channel, and the other is the auditory verbal processing channel. When text is displayed with a picture or video, all this information must compete for the same limited visual attention. The visual channel becomes overloaded. When using spoken words rather than text, the picture enters the visual pictorial processing channel and sound enters the auditory verbal processing channel. So, when graphics and text would overload working memory, a graphic and spoken instructions can be done simultaneously without affecting the processing in the learner's working memory. How effective is this? In a multimedia study of how lightning forms, some students watched a presentation that contained graphics and text, while a different group watched the same presentation without text, but with the same information spoken. When tested, the group with the graphics and spoken information had twice as many answers correct as the graphics text group. Additional studies have been reported to have the same results in all cases. Are there exceptions to this rule? Of course. You do not need to use the modality principle if you are technically unable to use speech or if the background is too loud. Using sound causes unreasonable production costs. Words are too technical for the learner group, in a different language, or needed for future reference. You have keywords that identify the steps of a procedure. Or you will be using the text as a reference, and the text stays on the screen after spoken words are completed. In looking for an example of the modality principle, I found a video on how to change a carburetor on a snowblower. This video fails to use the modality principle, and you can see how cognitive overload happens as you need to visually read the instructions and watch what is going on in a complicated repair. Not only does the presentation use text, but many times the text actually covers the video graphics that you are to be watching. This video is over 17 minutes long, which means I will only be showing you short portions of it. Although I am not going to show what I found in full, viewing a small portion of this YouTube video really demonstrates how cognitive overload can occur when using text and graphics at the same time. My plan for using multimedia within my course module is to teach a lesson based on one of my course objectives. When looking at qualities of good customer service, I would like to develop a multimedia presentation on the 3 P's, which are positivity, patience, and politeness. The presentation will make use of Clark and Meyer principles, including the modality principle as seen in this presentation. In closing, when preparing a presentation, your best way of getting knowledge to your learner is to use the modality principle using visual graphics paired with verbal directions or instructions. This will keep cognitive load to a minimum and give your learner the best chance to gain the knowledge you are sharing.